to be here this morning. The brilliant Reverend Richard Chad has invited me here today. Before I start, can I just say how much of an amazing vicar you really are. I always like to go, when I leave a service, I always like to go away and really think about what I've learnt in that sermon. And there's always so much for me to take away, so thank you. And thank you all for making me feel so welcome. We've been working together in my role as a local councillor in Braintree, which is why I'm here today. In what is now an ever more secular society, you'll be forgiven for thinking that Christianity plays no role in modern politics, where the role of religion is often portrayed as a nostalgic nod to our past. Not only do I think this is incorrect, I believe the role of Christianity in politics is more vital than ever. I will level with you, I was not a Christian growing up. Like most other people, I saw Christianity's role in politics and society at large as being wholly restrictive. You mustn't do this, you can't do that. Jesus may have preached liberation, but like most of the public, this completely passed me by. It was a friend that first introduced me to Christianity. Like all good evangelists, that's evangelists with a small e, she never lectured us on Christianity or stood on street corners shouting out Jesus, a really good way of turning off anyone going to church. But she demonstrated what a positive Christian life looked like. At first, I will be completely honest with you, at first when I read the Bible, I was sceptical. However, there was one particular text that really opened my mind as to what Christianity was really about. And this was the parable of the sheep and the goats. For those of you that don't know, in this story, Jesus accepts people into heaven who have been good to him, maybe giving him food when he was hungry, shelter when he was homeless, and helping him when he was sick. Understandably, they were all very confused because they'd never met him before. It was the next line that really hooked me. He said, "Truly, I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these, brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." It was at this moment that I'd realised that I'd always been a Christian. While the role of individual actions is vital, it is also clear how this text, like many others in the Bible, can impact our social and political outlook. By serving those around us, our community, we serve God. As I'm sure we'll all agree, the Bible is as relevant as ever, giving us vital lessons to learn from. However, it is not an instruction manual. The Bible provides profound moral and ethical guidance, but it requires us to thoughtfully apply its principles to our complex modern lives. Living in an ever more secular country, we cannot justify choices in the social or political sphere by simply pointing to the Bible and saying, "That's why we did it." Some Christians are sad about this, but we really shouldn't be. While this may represent a challenge to Christians in the political world, it also provides an opportunity to deepen our understanding of our faith. We have to fully explain why our choices will make our community better. For this, we can't simply just quote a carefully selected line from the Bible to prove a point we're already determined to believe. Instead, it requires us to fully understand the full implications of God's teachings and how it will serve those around us. This will allow us to not only be better Christians, but provide a better world for all. We face so many issues today. The cost of living crisis is truly rocking the nation to its core. This is part of me why I wish the Bible was more like an instruction manual, where I could go to the contents page and look up the page entitled, "What to Do When Bills Are No Longer Affordable." However, God didn't write that for us. He may have set out guidelines in places like the Sermon on the Mount and the Good Samaritan, answering the fundamental question of what we owe to each other. And I'm yet to see a text answer that question better than the Bible has. But the application is very much down to us. Many see being an elected politician as being privileged. This is not the Christian way. I am your servant. When I speak to constituents unable to leave their homes, living with rats, unable to wash themselves. All cases that I have tackled with in the last few months. I am not doing this out of generosity or goodwill, but because it is my duty, not just as a councillor, but as a Christian. I'm one of 3 councillors elected in Braintree Central and Beckers Green. Some of you may have voted for me, and some of you may have not been able to vote for me because you're in the right ward, but some of you may have chosen to not vote for me. And that is perfectly fine. Regardless, I am here to serve you. Christians in politics fail when they suppose they speak for God, and anyone who disagrees with them must therefore be against God. Christians in politics must speak with humility, striving to reflect God's love and justice, rather than to claim having any divine endorsement for specific policies. When Christians are politicians, we must be politicians for all. I work with 2 other councillors in the ward. We've got Shirley Mason, who is here today, and Jonathan Ayton, who is otherwise engaged but is doing things with the council. They are both tremendous councillors who do absolutely brilliant work in the community. While I'm not aware what their religious affiliations are, I haven't asked them, their actions reflect the values of compassion and service that Christians strive to embody. We'll be sticking around after the service to have a chat. Whether you want to alert us to any issues, hold us to account, or simply say hi, we'd love to hear from you. A massive thanks to everyone for making us so welcome. Thank you.